Good evening. Welcome to the 13th episode of the Man to Man podcast brought to you by Back Sports Page. And also, I want to give a quick shout out to my dude, Matt What a Guy, my musician friend out of Cincy. Check him out on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok, obviously, at MATTWHATAGUY. He's got shows all around Cincy and Cleveland this spring. So check out his page and videos. Like I said, I've shouted him out for dudes. I mean, he just likes it. He just does it for fun, too. So, I mean, all the stuff's good. His original stuff good. He covers everything. So it's a good time to go for one night, especially in the spring. It's pretty nice. But we are here on March 11th, I think it is. And I can smell March Madness around the corner. I am very excited.
Oh, yeah.
I saw your boys are playing tonight.
I don't want to talk about it. I looked at the score before we got on. We're down like 30.
I didn't know they were already playing.
Yeah, they're down like 30. So it was a good win.
I had this whole kind of weekend planned where not really a whole weekend, but at least tomorrow and Saturday I was gonna go to the semifinal of the MAC championships. Semifinals. If Kent was in it, I was gonna go to them, and I thought Kent was gonna make the championships, go to the game. They got killed by 29 today, so that's my weekend just opened up.
I'm free.
Yeah. So and also updates on other things. We spoke too soon. We really don't have many guests coming in the near future. We will still be trying to, but we tried to go not the correct way to do it. And we tried to go a little bit backdoor, which we thought worked, and it was working for about a week. And then they kind of talked to their coaches, or my guy did at least talk to their coach. Said you have to go through the university.
Yeah, mine said that he wanted to come on and everything, but I don't know how, because I never mentioned it to the coach, but apparently his coach caught wind of it and was like, "Hey, you got to wait till the end of the season."
Yeah, I which is crazy. I mean, it makes sense, but and I know FCS is big and stuff, and if I gotta feel like if I'm a player there, I'm like, hey guys, I can go talk to whoever I want.
Right, and he's a chill guy. We weren't gonna ask him anything hard.
Especially the only time I'll ever ask that stuff is if we have someone I don't like, or that has already come out and said it beforehand and is literally on to explain how he got money and stuff.
Yeah, so, well, and I'm not even saying that. We weren't going to ask him about plays. We weren't going to ask him about, the team to put him in a bad light. We're literally just going to bring him on to talk about what it's in day in the life, and then we're going to talk about football.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I after you told me about that, I think after Monday's show, and then I direct messaged the other guy I was talking to, and he told me, he's like, you got to go through the athletics. And then the next day you told me, and I probably should have been aware of it. I know it. We're supposed to, if you ever have an athlete on, you're supposed to always tell them to ask their coaches or a position coach beforehand. So they would have failed anyways, because I probably would have brought it up to them at the last minute, been like, you probably have to ask your coach. Because I've ran into that before. There's a kid from around here that goes to Wake Forest, and he was like, yeah, they said not during the season, or not right now, blah, blah, and you have to go through it. So it's unfortunate, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I think it's different though, because I'm still a student there, and we're allowed to have access. We're allowed to interview players for whatever reason, because I'm a student and everything there. I just think that I did mention, I was like, hey, just run it by your coach just to make sure. But it's not going to be anything serious. You can just say that you're going on to talk about football. That's really all it would have been. And his coach is that's fine, I get it, but just wait until we're done.
Yeah, it's probably my fault to begin with, because I thought we were going to get away with it, and I was like, I thought of it, and we were everything was going good, and I thought we were going to get away with it. And when my guy direct messaged me, I was like, this is probably not good news for Tom's guy either. So
he was super chill about it. We were on the phone. He was like, hey, bro, I tried. I'm like, coach, we got Valpo. It's not like we're playing anyone big. And I was like, all right, Mitch, well, it's no biggie. We'll have you on whenever you're done.
Yeah, so we could have a lot of football players on in the summer, I guess. I don't know. We'll see. But obviously, unfortunately, no cricket news today in sports history, but we do have another Grand National. In 1863, the 25th Grand National, George Stevens wins his second Grand National aboard 4-1 Emblem. winning mare's full sister Emma Maddox wins the following year. So his sister won the next year. That's just a great horse family. Hey, do you know how much like some of those like who was the latest horse to win the Triple Crown? It was
You're gonna say it, and I'm gonna know immediately who it was.
It's American Pharaoh. It's American Pharaoh.
I was gonna say.
Oh, no, it's Justify. No, it's just. Oh wait,
Justify.
No,
it's American. I was gonna say it was. I knew it started with an A.
Yeah, Justify.
When did that happen? Was this year?
That was 2018. He won in 2018. He won the Triple Crown.
Huh.
Well, I don't know. It doesn't say. No, okay. It was American Pharaoh. I'm on the wrong website. It's the Kentucky Derby website, and it says he won. He didn't win. I feel like I remember that. But, I mean, yeah. I mean, I remember when American Pharaoh. That's what I was getting at. Do you know how much those horses literally get sold off for just to make children?
Hundreds of thousands of dollars. It's insane.
Hundreds of millions of dollars. Like, it's crazy. And then it's always the one guy he's always the trainer. It's the old kind of plumper, white hair. I think his name's like Baffert or something.
Oh my God. I know exactly who you're talking about.
Yeah, I usually am like kind of big, not big on it, but I always bet on each of the three races. And last year was so messed up because I remember like COVID and everything. So
I love horse racing. I love going down to the track and just like making a day out of it. I won't do it like remotely. Like I won't bet on horse racing remotely. But like I love making a day out of going down to the track and just watching the horse races. That's
interesting. I see. I'm not like that. I need like action. If I'm gonna be at a place where like I need action on like I need like live action. Like all right, who's gonna win the first lap? Who's gonna win the third lap? And like things like that. But I don't know. So, but I definitely it's definitely something cool to do and fun to do. Also in 1876, it was the English FA Cup final in Kennington Oval in London. The Wanderers and Old Estonians draw 1-1, and the Wanderers won the replay 3-0 for their third title. Those teams are not either around anymore or not in the big league anymore. And yeah, that's another weird thing about soccer. Instead of like doing a 3-game series, they usually have like 2 games. So a home and away, and you get more points for away goals. So it's weird, but whatever. I enjoy it. And United, my team, Manchester United, won today, so that's good. Right. Why did that beep? Did you send me something?
No.
Oh, okay. I just heard a beep, like someone left the thing. Okay. All right. So this is more fun facts. Like I said, you'll have to do it next time, but I kind of forgot about the outline the last second because I forgot that we were having the guy on, so I was going to have you do it. But yeah, so fun facts about 2 Chainz.
When did that get added? I didn't see that before.
Fun facts about 2 Chainz. Before 2 Chainz, he was Titty Boy in the 3-6 Mafia. I love 2 Chainz. He had a 9-hour standoff with police in 2013. His tour bus was pulled over in Oklahoma City, and they would not allow police on the bus to search. They held a photo of the U.S. Constitution against the window the whole time. Police eventually got a search warrant, and everyone was arrested and had to pay fines. Like it was in the middle of the freeway in Oklahoma City. They were like holding it out the window, and then there was just like oh God. Rappers are so funny like that to me.
That's funny. Yo, but like not gonna lie, legally, I don't know if the police were allowed to hold them there for 9 hours.
They must have had. I mean, they got a warrant. I got to say that. So,
I know they got a warrant.
And also, I mean, I hope it never comes to this, but if people really wanted to crack down on guys like rappers, things like that, just the fact that they're in a tour bus, like if it's 2 Chainz tour bus or Lil Wayne's tour bus, should just be probable cause to search it. If they really want to crack down, be like, this is a musician's tour bus. That's probable cause.
Right. So. Well, all I'm saying is having them wait 9 hours while they got a search warrant seems unethical. But anyway, we can move on.
It also seems just time wasting of time. So, all right. So some current events in the new sporting world today. I don't know, some couple things we can touch on. The Texans, they're already trying to win this Deshaun Watson back. They just signed I think he's going to be 32-year-old Mark Ingram to a 1-year deal. I mean, good for him. I'm always a fan of older running backs signing every year over. I feel like you're 32 if you're running back that you sign and you're actually making money is good. I think
100% agree,
because they get used up so much early. So, remind me to get to Travis Etienne's pro day today. I saw that. Yeah.
I watched parts of it. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, he's apparently his brother is supposed to be better than him, and basically every school. He's like a sophomore in Texas, and every school wants him already. So I read a story about him.
Nice.
Okay, but yeah. So I don't really think that does anything for Deshaun Watson. And then you know what? I have it under number 5 NFL. I'm just gonna bring it up right now because it's Deshaun Watson. And it's there, and I don't want to harp on it. But to me, like I think I said last week, this is going to turn into more of like a political standoff or not like social justice standoff where, I mean, I don't know if you saw the other day, but Jalen Ramsey, like he backed Deshaun Watson, was like, yeah, like the players should have the spot. I mean, because it's been known for a long time that basically every sport wants the power that the players have in the NBA. Like it's been known. People want that power. And the NFL, the players don't get it. So I feel like a lot of the players are going to look at this and be like, Deshaun, like you, even if it comes to the point where like he's like, all right, I'll play. Like, so I guarantee you he'll get backing from some of those current players. They're like, you cannot, like, if you made it this far, you cannot back down now. Like,
yeah,
then they win.
I went and I joined Randy and Ryan for lunch today up in Farallon.
Nice.
And we were kind of talking about Deshaun Watson a little bit. And they had brought up like the point of, and directly relates to this, but unfortunately for the players, I just don't really see that swing coming, I guess. And I think the NBA is a circumstance that's different than everything else because players do have that power. But
and let's be honest too, NBA players deserve that power. I mean, there are players in the NBA that, I mean, I know they do the super teams now, but there are players in the NBA if like the top 10 players in the NBA each played for separate teams, or like the best players all played for separate teams, like LeBron James or like Giannis or Kawhi Leonard will win every year because one player can do that.
Right. And it's a much more individualistic sport. If that's a word, I made it up potentially. I know it's much more of an individual sport.
Yeah, I know, and I know that they've said it in the past, but I mean, football players wear helmets too. I mean, it's not that big of a deal, but like no one, like you don't really even think about what their face looks like, so they're not really as marketable. I feel like
they aren't, and that's something that we talk about in a lot of my sports media classes.
Yeah, and that makes sense. I mean, I guess, but yeah, I don't think that the more and more, like I've said it, I feel like every time we talk about it. The more and more I think the more and more this goes on, the more and more uglier I think it's going to get. I just don't. And it's back. And it's honestly, for me, it's been awesome the past like week and a half, 2 weeks, where we haven't really heard much about it. Like, yeah, I'm just over this at this point.
Yeah. Something needs to be done soon, or else like no one's going to give a crap anymore going forward. You know, like, this is just going to become one of those ongoing ordeals that people just aren't going to care about.
And we've seen this in the past in the NFL with ironically 2 Steelers players. But like I said, I mean, it's never been like this with a quarterback.
Yep, it's always been the unwritten rule that you just play out your contract, and like honestly,
it's also written the unwritten rule, and kind of explains to Dak like, if you have a quarterback who is above average in the NFL, it doesn't matter. You have to pay him. Like, because
and the Texans paid him.
I am more on Deshaun Watson's side on that side of things. Like I said, they had that organization has been known to have odd ties in the past. And if you tell your star quarterback who's 24, who's who just signed away basically all his good years to you, that you are going to consult him about the next head coach, and you don't, and then you hire a guy that he openly did not want. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm not taking any sides on this because I understand both point of views.
That's good. That means like I don't know, like 10 years when you're like at the NBA All-Star game, like the Pro Bowl or something, no one's gonna be able to dig up this in your past, like that you took which side, you know.
Yeah, man. No one can hold it against me, and I don't know. I understand both sides of the issue here and where everyone's coming from, but like Deshaun Watson had the opportunity to not sign the contract, but he took the money, and I don't know. It's like I said, it's a difficult situation.
I do have to say that I think. I mean, even Tom Brady would have complained about his situation. He probably would have wanted out of the Texans. Like it's like I don't know how to explain.
Yes, but Tom Brady wouldn't have been taking $42 million a year, and the Texans could have gone out and got him help. That's what we see now with him taking a pay cut, and Mike Evans takes the pay cut, and they're keeping everyone.
Yeah, we can talk about it. I mean. The days of a guy like Tom Brady ever being able to win as many Super Bowls as he did and be good over a 20-year career, it's gone. It's long gone. I mean, because Tom Brady won a Super Bowl, he probably should have been able to win probably one more on his rookie deal. And then any normal quarterback, especially in this day of age, is going to get paid like Dak Prescott gets paid. It's just not. I mean, that's great that Tom Brady and the Patriots took advantage of that, but it's just not possible in today's NFL.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know. We can move on, but I think that people need to look at Tom Brady, and everyone's like dumbfounded with how Tom Brady wins 7 Super Bowls and has been playing for 20 years. It's because he takes care of his body, and it's because he takes those pay cuts to keep people that are good around him.
And it is a joke that's said all along, but it doesn't hurt that his wife makes double what he makes. Like, he doesn't have to go out and ask for money. So
I mean I know it's used as a joke, but at the same time, like he's still getting paid He's still getting paid millions of dollars. He would have never had to have worked again in his life about halfway through his career. But I'm not even saying, Tom Brady was looking at this not from a money perspective. He looked at it as, I want to be the greatest of all time, and went out and did it and did what he needed to do. He didn't care about the money, and that's really what's lost in today's day and age.
No, you've changed. You listened to Jen. You listened to Jen too much on Monday. You've changed. In other news, the Bills inked Matt Milano 4 years, $44 million. For a guy like Milano, I got to feel like that's a little bit of a hometown discount, I think. Because
Butler just lost by 31.
Good. I didn't bet on them, so that's good.
Hey, you bet on them when they won, though. Right?
When did I bet on them when they won?
You said last show that you bet on them for your parlay.
I don't know. I just usually put numbers in. I don't. When I'm giving away my money to my online bookies, I just don't really pay attention.
Great.
I do have North Carolina -4 tonight, and I'm super pumped to get a job, like I said, college basketball. But I'm even more pumped about the topic before it. So that's a good re-signing by the Bills. I think, like I said, they're in the same state that I think that the Bucs are in. It's like, just bring back as many as you can, and you're going to have a fair go at it next year. And like I said, I mean, I think the Chiefs, that's just risky to do. I don't understand it. I mean, I really hope it doesn't come down to this, but that's basically what's going to happen to Deshaun Watson next year is what's going to happen to Patrick Mahomes next year is exactly what happened to Deshaun Watson this year in Houston.
Yeah, I mean,
are you busy? Are you busy? Do you want me to leave you alone?
No, sorry. I was doing a little more deep dive based on, anyway. I don't know. I could see that happening, but at the same time, New England's a different situation.
All right. The Bucks franchise Chris Godwin. I think that's a good idea. They re-signed Levante David, and I've heard from basically everyone that they are going to bring back Shaq Barrett. You don't think so?
No, I'm just butthurt. I wanted to see some movement.
I mean, it's just, and I put it in the title of this too, and we can kind of get at that. But I mean, everyone's just getting cut. If you've had an injury, any injury in the past, you're getting cut. It's the amount of cuts over the last couple of days. It's crazy.
I just and not only like cuts, but like big name player kind of cuts.
I mean, the Browns are going to let go Sheldon Ridge. I mean, they're going to let go both of their defensive tackles and Olivier Vernon. They're going to let 3 of the 4 defensive linemen, not the one that matters, so that's okay, I guess. But they're going to let 3 of the 4 defensive linemen from a team that won a game in the playoffs. That's only weakness really was their defense, and you're just like, okay, well then we'll just forget about the defense. So
okay, bye.
Yeah, it's just I don't know. And then obviously Myers Leonard, not a good look. And the sad thing is, I think we're going to not start seeing it more, but it's going to become more of a normal thing because I think those athletes and those guys, they just get on their live stream, and they just forget that there's people recording on there. So,
yeah, I actually watched that live when it was happening.
Really?
Yeah, I follow him. Well, you followed him.
You unfollowed him just for that?
No. I just didn't want to be caught in any of the misfire when anyone was looking at my Twitch stream.
Yeah. And I will say about Myers Leonard, I listened to it too. The way that rolled off his tongue, that's not a word that he never uses. And that's not a word that I'm saying he uses all the time in his regular conversation, but that's a word that has been used in his vocabulary. So just the way he said it, you could tell. It wasn't just like a slip up. It rolled off his tongue like he said that before.
Yeah, well, I don't know if you read his apology or anything. He said basically he didn't know what it meant. And like, I'm not excusing his ignorance or anything, but like that's the first time I've ever heard it personally. Like I guess I've heard about it from my friend, but like I never have heard anyone actually use it. So like I wasn't aware of it at the time and like what it meant. So like I'm not trying to excuse him at all, but like I can understand where he didn't understand because Call of Duty lobbies. I don't know if you played Call of Duty a lot. They're horrible.
I don't know. Wow. This is a very. I'm not supportive of your stance on this, Tom. I'm not.
No. I'm not trying to defend him whatsoever. I'm just saying that's a select word that I've never heard before, and I'm in uncharted territory.
He's my age, so he's probably 5-6 years old. He knows what that means.
Yeah, I didn't until this entire thing.
Myers Leonard knows what that means.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw Julian Edelman reached out to him.
I did. I was going to bring that up when we started talking about it. I think that's the right way to go about it. Like, not excuse him, but like help him grow, you know?
Yeah, and that's great. And I think it's a great PR move from Julian Edelman. I mean, I like Julian Edelman too. He was one of the only Patriots players I actually always liked because he went to Kent. My parents met his parents multiple times. This is just another New England thing, and I just don't like him for it. Like, just shut up, dude. It's a different sport. Get over it. Go away. I can't.
Yeah. I just want to make clear though, like I'm not supporting.
Yeah, I know.
I got you. I'm just
saying in my opinion, he's old enough. He should know what that means.
Yeah. And I just
no, exactly.
My ignorance is here too, and because of my ignorance of not knowing what it is, it's uncharted territory for me.
It's all good. It's not a big deal. And then the last thing, like I said, we've only really touched on this briefly. And I still don't want to touch on it a lot because I don't really know what the details are. And I kind of want to ask a question and then we'll kind of get off of this. But Les Miles is out of Kansas. It's basically said he was harassing like women at LSU. They looked into it at LSU, and in a letter came to light the other day that an email that the LSU AD sent the incoming president of LSU in 2013 that was basically like, he's been proven to do all this stuff. We should fire him now. I don't think it's good for the school to get rid of him. They didn't get rid of him. And so we'll see what happens with that. But I think his career is over, and anything media relations, I mean, you can't come back from that. And I think LSU did a really dumb thing. But the worst question, the deeper question, I think how many schools is this happening at? Because I think it's like where coaches, like, because it said in the report basically that his staff knew what types of girls he wanted, the blondes with the big boobs. Like, I think this is happening at a lot more universities than maybe not originally thought, but then that are known. I think this is, and I'm not saying anything against the South because I lived in the South for a year, but it seems like there's coming a lot of it down there.
Right.
And it's everywhere though. I mean, it happened at Baylor. It happened everywhere. So, I mean, Baylor was horrible, but yeah, I guess so. I'll ask you, you think this is happening a lot of other places as well?
I mean, I think it's happening at other places, yes, but I feel like it's been happening a lot that people just haven't talked about it because there always has been that kind of stigma when it came to situations like this. Like, you know, it's been like an unconscious thing going on forever, it seems now. And now that things are starting to progress more and more light is being come of it, it's starting to become more prominent and people are starting to actually turn their attention to it.
Yeah, and not to really say this about, I'm just giving this example of like a Ryan. I'm just giving Ryan Day because he's only been the head coach at Ohio State for like 3 years. He's sort of a newer breed head coach.
Right.
Like, I feel like Ryan Day and those other guys that have come into big universities in the last 3 or 4 years, they kind of know that these days. Like, they know that nothing is getting out. Nothing is safe. Everything will get out. So I think a lot of those newer guys like Ryan Day, even maybe Dabo, when they started to get big, I think they kind of, and I just respect Nick Saban too much to think that he's actually doing it. But I wouldn't be surprised if other Alabama staffers were. But I do think the newer breed is kind of caught on that, like, yo, even if this happened 20 years ago, it's going to come to light at some point. It's going to come back to haunt you.
Yeah, and you need to address it sooner rather than later.
Yeah, and obviously it's just a terrible look for LSU to basically, their AD said that he found Les Miles like I don't know he guilty of all the stuff, and they didn't do anything. So that's
horrible.
Weird, but yeah. So we have a little bit more in the NFL. Like Russell Wilson, I don't really have anything to say about Russell Wilson. I think the only possible place he could go right now is I think if the Bears put a decent package together, I think they might get him. But other than that,
I agree.
And then, like we talked about earlier in the NFL, well, I guess you can get to this so Tom's going to take over NFL free agency today. We're going to do a little quick dive into that before we get into basketball. So
all right.
Tom knows about all the money and everything. I don't. So.
So just from Monday on, I'm just going to read off the big kind of moves that have happened. So obviously, I think the first thing that I need to address first is Dak Prescott. Holy crap, dude. I mean, he got his 40 mil average a year that he wanted, but it's totally front loaded. Like it's so heavily front loaded that he's making $694 a second for the first season. He's making $75 million in the first season alone, which is just it's the most that any sports athlete I think has been paid in a year. If you've seen other,
I would have to look at because the only sport you can ever compare a lot of these American contracts to are soccer. And I would think, but even with this one, I would think the only ones that would come close are like Mbappe, Ronaldo, Messi, those guys. So
yeah,
that's crazy
for 1 year. And like, you think about it, Mahomes makes 50 a year. This one season, Dak is making $25 million more than Mahomes. And I don't know if you saw Was that?
Go ahead. Go ahead. No, I have something to say afterwards. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say I don't know if you saw, who was it? Michael Irving when he was talking about it right after. I wish I sent you the clip. He was basically saying that the Cowboys view him as Tom Brady, and he brings everything to the table to be a Tom Brady, including the leadership and everything, and that's why they're paying him the extra money.
Yeah, I think it's the best contract an athlete that I know of has ever signed. I think maybe Bobby Bonilla, considering he sits at like right now and he's made $1 million today. So maybe Bobby, but like this being so front loaded, I mean, it's
especially while you're rehabbing and stuff. Now you might not have a good season this year based on the injury. Exactly.
That's why it was such a huge win for him. Like, so I think that, and then I look at it from the Cowboys' point of view. They didn't have to give him the extra money. They didn't, but they had to pay him. And if the Cowboys, if you want to look at the Cowboys and where they actually went wrong, was the Ezekiel Elliott deal. So that's that. I mean that looks since the moment that ink touched the paper, that deal has looked worse and worse and worse and worse and worse.
He led the NFL with fumbles. I remember that much.
And he's like overweight. He's like a fullback.
He's a fullback. Damn.
And he still wears that little crop jersey too. He's like, oh, check out my beard belly. Hey, I got one too. I'm not an NFL running back though.
Hey, I'm not even an athlete.
I talk about sports. I don't even try to play sports.
Anyway, other big moves that have happened since Monday. The Tennessee Titans traded away their problem child of Isaiah Wilson for a swap of 7ths with the Dolphins. This, I think, is an absolute steal for the Dolphins, not because the 7th rounder they're giving up is valuable or that Wilson's a stud, but it's literally a no-risk, high-reward trade. Like, Wilson could, in theory, come in here and be like the 22 overall pick that he was and be this lights-out tackle or whatever. And if not, they gave up picks this year on day 3 for a pick next year that they can use again to trade away. There's literally no risk whatsoever for exponential amounts of reward.
That time that you were talking, that was too much time that was given to this.
Okay, anyway.
They should not the Titans should have paid the Dolphins to take him. We just talked about this morning. I know I get what you're saying, but this doesn't happen with left tackles. Like, they just aren't really bad, and then just, oh yeah, you know what? He turned 26 and
now
he's just so much better now. I mean, granted, I agree. It is a no risk, I guess high reward. But if I'm the Titans and I'm honestly looking at it, I'm like, why didn't we just wait until he hit free agency?
Because he could get a pick.
Or didn't it? Why didn't we just wait till he got cut? Why don't we just wait till he gets cut? Like,
I don't know. I understand. Just to secure it, I guess, so that he doesn't go elsewhere to like the Chiefs.
Yeah, I honestly then, yeah, I can live with that. That's a good idea then. Just to make sure that he doesn't go anywhere else. And you know what? It's almost a spiteful move. Like, I feel like the Titans probably wanted this. They talk about it together. They're like, all right, you guys will switch 7th picks, but you guys have to take him just to make sure he doesn't play ever again after this 1-year contract. Like, make sure he tears his ACL. He's done.
Make sure he doesn't get any stretching or training in.
Nothing.
So that he blows everything out.
I want him out of the league by next year.
Oh man, that's anyway. Before I get to franchise tags, let's see what else is there. Oh, the Raiders traded Trent Brown and a 7th for a 5th to the Patriots.
Is that the Trent Brown? Is he a right tackle or a left tackle?
I think he's a right tackle.
Is he the same Trent Brown that was playing for Baltimore, I want to say?
Yeah, I think so.
Because he's like, is he like the one that's like, I know this is stupid. Is he the one that's like ranked above 80 in Madden?
I think so.
Okay, yeah. Well, then that's crazy because I guess I don't know how good he actually is. I've never really watched it, but like Trent Brown is pretty good in Madden, so
Let's see. Hang on.
for a 5th-round pick.
Yeah, they traded Trent Brown in a 7th for a 5th to the Patriots. I think he's the one that's good.
I'll look it up. We're good. But yeah, so I mean that's a big. You know what scares me about that? If this is the guy that I think it is, and he's like actually good, then they're going to sign Thuney. And you know what? They're going to be really quiet in this draft. They're not going to take who you think they are, but they're going to get a guy like Ray. They're going to get a guy like Rashawn Slater to start at the left tackle.
Oh,
and then again, it's going to come again in 2 years. They'll be amazing for like the next 5 because they'll just cycle all the way back.
Yeah, the good lineman again, and then Sony Michel will actually look good. And what is it, Damian Harris? Oh man, Jared Stidham's going to win MVP. Oh my god,
it's purgatory. We can't escape it. I wish we could go to Earth 2.
Earth 2.
In Earth 2, the Browns and the Jets would be the best teams in the AFC.
Go baby.
And the Bills.
Yeah. Other big names that got released, or I guess not other. Some big names that got released. Malcolm Butler got cut from the Titans. Kicker Dan Bailey from the Vikings.
Malcolm Butler. Okay, yeah. I thought you were saying Malcolm Jenkins. Good.
No. Yesterday,
Malcolm Jenkins got cut too.
Oh, did he? Oh, was that today? I think I saw that.
Yeah, cut by the Saints, yeah.
Yeah. Yesterday, a big kind of cut, in my opinion, John Brown got cut from the Bills. They saved $10 million, I think it was. He has the ability to be a really solid number 2 receiver for somewhere. Are you still with me? No. Okay. John Brown got cut by the Bills. Like I said, he could be potentially a really good number 2 receiver. Hello.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm surprised they cut John Brown. Like, I guess
it's a money thing.
If they put that money towards like a good running back, maybe I don't know. Like,
I think they put it towards Milano. I think that's where the money went.
That can make sense. I would not be surprised if I was the Bills. I would be going after a top flight running back right now.
We can talk about that later because I have him going with someone in the draft, personally.
Oh, Najee Harris?
No, Travis, which is why I want to bring it later because I have Najee going earlier. Anyway, John Brown's a big cut. Let's see. Oh, a guy we talked about actually, I think on Monday, the Dolphins cut Kyle Van Noy 1 year into his deal.
They cut him last week. We talked about that.
Oh, maybe you saw a report because he got cut yesterday. This says.
Oh, they told him they were going to cut him last week or something.
Oh, maybe that's what it was.
Because I know that it's just like every other free guy that got cut this year. Literally every single one. It's only Browns fans. Every single player that gets cut, it's like we should take a look at him. He might be better. It's like guys, we have to get this mindset out that it used to be. Yes, every player that got cut from another team was still good enough.
That's
to
what
be
I
on
do
our
with the
roster.
Jets.
Yeah, so he's still good to be with the roster. But nowadays, like we stepped up, guys. We don't need to sign everybody.
The Giants also cut Kevin Zeitler, another one of your Browns.
Okay, there was another guy today that was just all over the message boards. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, where the hell is he even going to play?
You guys don't need him anymore.
We have 2 great guards, and he clearly can't play tackle. And people are like, what do you think about bringing Kevin Zeitler back? What do you think about – where are you going to play him?
I actually saw – I think I was talking with Randy and Ryan about it. They heard that he might not be leaving the Giants, I guess. I don't know exactly what it was they were talking about. I don't know what it was, but they were speculating like this could just be a restructure type thing where they cut him based on the numbers of his salary and they're going to restructure it. Maybe that was a theory and I just misunderstood, but who knows? Let's see. The Saints have been going ham when it comes to cutting people. Emmanuel Sanders
they have no choice. The Saints are one of the teams this year in the NFL. I know it happens like almost every year, but you can look at one team and you can be like, oh, so the salary cap is real. Like, because like it's like you look at it, you're like, because you don't think about it at all, and then you see like a team like the Saints, or I think there's one other team this year that's like too, and you're like, okay, yeah, the cap is real. There is no fake cap.
Hey, the Saints went from having minus $75 million in cap to minus 29, which now makes them.
Who they all cut?
So they cut Emmanuel Sanders, who I think saved him like $7 million or something like that. They cut Quan Alexander, who they traded for, if you remember.
Yeah,
and saved like 17.
I like Quan Alexander. I would love Quan Alexander on the Browns.
I love Quan Alexander. Yo, he's absolute
like 27.
animal. Yeah.
Yeah, he's like 27. Yeah.
See,
that's just me being a Browns fan, though. I just want him. I don't know, but no, actually, seriously, our linebacker sucks. So.
Right. They cut Janoris Jenkins, the corner. He's a solid number 2, and he saved like 13.
If he really hasn't developed as much into more of a slot corner that I would have liked more off, but I think he'd still play slot.
Right.
So I like him in the slot.
So the one thing that I do want to bring up now that I've kind of caught up a little bit on the Saints cuts, they're refusing to cut Taysom Hill. That dude is making $16 million because he wanted to be a quarterback, which he obviously cannot do. If you cut him right now and save $16 million, that puts you down at 13 under the cap. And you're actually starting to look like an actual football team again. But they won't do it.
I mean, I honestly think that Sean Payton is just at the point where they already gave him the deal because he kind of believed him at the time that he could take over for Drew Brees. And now it's just at the point where it's too far gone. But I guess it's not, because you said if they cut him now, I mean, I don't know.
They have $16 million. You'll actually start to lower the cap.
I guarantee he's taking some snaps at quarterback. The only way this makes sense then is they really think he's going to be the starting quarterback, not this coming year, but the year after.
Yeah, the only way this makes sense is if they don't go after Jameis Winston, like every report is saying they're going to do.
And even if Taysom Hill does start not this year but next year, he's still almost like 30. I mean, talk about not a wasted career, because I mean, I guess if you look at it, for a guy that was a quarterback that turned into a receiver, basically, it's not a terrible career. But what more of just so much we believe in him and just drawn out for so long for no reason.
Well, hang on. I just updated the list of the salary cap, and somehow the Patriots are now number 2 in cap space. They have $70 million to spend. Who did they cut?
I don't know. You have a computer.
I'm going to look now. I was just hoping that it was here. But yeah, I don't understand why they're keeping him around, because they would very much clear out their cap space that they need.
Yeah, I've also heard that they would like to clear some cap by trading Marshawn Lattimore.
I have heard that as well, but if they do that, that absolutely tanks their secondary, because they just cut Jenkins. Yeah,
I mean, if they're smart, they won't. But
yeah.
I would try and trade him if you were gonna either cut him or trade him. I would definitely try to trade him. And if I'm the Browns, I would think very hard about giving up my first round pick for him.
In all honesty, if I'm the Browns, I would do that in a heartbeat, because if you have Denzel Ward and Marshawn Lattimore, your defense is filthy automatically.
And then even more because you have to have some kind of expectation for Greedy, even though I don't have much. I mean, Marshawn Lattimore is really good in the slot as well, but
right.
But yeah, I because the only corner that it would have to be a perfect scenario. The only corner that would fall to them that's worthy of a first round pick probably is J.C. Horn from South Carolina, who I think is actually the best corner.
I agree.
I mean, if they end up if he like I said, it has to be a perfect scenario. But if he ends up falling to them, they could be set.
Yep.
That's more of I want him to take a linebacker, but if someone like that falls in. And you talked about it last time. It's you have to take the best player available.
100%, especially because I agree. I think J.C. Horn is the most complete player, or has the potential to be the most complete player. even over Surtain and Farley.
Yeah, and it's I was reading something the other day about Horn and kind of Surtain. It's like one of the scouts or one of their profiles was reading it. It was like it's a proven fact that if you have NFL genes in you, like if you have NFL genes in you, you're like more likely to develop into a good pro, I guess. I don't know how they did it or what they looked at, but it was something like that. And they say JC Horn has his father's intangibles. So,
right.
Who was a pretty damn good receiver for the Saints.
He was a very good receiver. Joe. Anyway.
I remember when he pulled out the phone.
The phone. I was just thinking about it. And then Michael Thomas recreated it with him in the building. That was crazy.
Who was the one that pulled the Sharp? Oh, it was T.O. That was T.O. Sharpie.
T.O. with the Sharpie.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Go ahead.
And then the last of free agency, I'll just touch on, I guess, before I still have to read those. Anyway, the biggest news that came out earlier today was the Chiefs released Eric Fisher and Mitchell Schwartz. Oh boy, we're starting to feel the repercussions of that $50 million a year from Mahomes, huh?
I mean,
what we saw in the Super Bowl is going to be every game now for Mahomes.
And it's unfortunate because I think I don't think it's unfortunate because I think it really, and it's even kind of when we started talking about Dak a little bit, it's become impossible not to play your good quarterbacks. So like I think in the future we might end up seeing like a team like the Chiefs get lucky with a good quarterback on a rookie deal and like go to 3 or 4 Super Bowls in a 4-year span, or 2 or 3 Super Bowls in a 4-year span, maybe win one. And then after that, they're crash and burn for the rest of their career because they have to pay him until he's 35.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
Mahomes this is a 10-year thing, dude. This is like, there's no getting out of it. I don't think there are any outs. And if there are, they're like outs after the 7th year.
Yeah. And like I said, it's just going to become what teams have to do. I mean, I think you've really seen like the last of it with guys like Mitch Trubisky and the Jets are going to have to make a real decision. Like I don't look at it as important, but I'm sure you view it as a very important decision. They're going to have this number 2 pick, and they're going to have to look at it, be like, did we put another year in behind Sam Darnold, or did we go fresh? Because then that means when you go fresh, you need your quarterback to have a good rookie season right away, or above average rookie season, and then have a good second season, and then your goal should be Super Bowl or.
Yeah, at least you need to start building around the new guy if you're going with that. If you want to stick with Sam and hopefully he develops, you still got to build around him, but like it's a win now type mentality instead of a 2 or 3 year mentality.
Yeah, and like I don't think the Jets have the worst weapons. I mean, I don't think they're the best, but they don't have the worst. And so I mean, but then that's where it comes in to me is like if you stick with Sam Darnold, he's probably. I mean, the Jets, like just like anyone, most teams in the NFL, you could obviously everyone could use to add a good receiver. I mean, the Browns could use to add a good receiver. So obviously Sam Darnold would want that. But then if they draft someone new, I mean, you have to redo that whole entire roster. You have to look
fit
at
around there. Yeah.
Yeah, you have to look at different linemen because, I mean, say you take a Zach Wilson or Justin Fields, they're going to be moving around. So, I mean, like I said, it's just a really important decision. And I got to tell you, I was really lucky with the Browns because we had the 1st and 4th pick. So like,
oh yeah, I remember.
Yeah. So like if we messed up, like I was like, okay, I was honestly on the deal. I was like, let's just take 2 quarterbacks. Let's take 2 of these guys and just see which one works out. And so we had 1 and 4 though. So even if Baker would have turned out to be a bust, you could have at least said that, yeah, they messed up the number 1 pick, but Denzel Ward is an all-pro. So, but yeah, I mean, it's a big draft because you don't know when the next time you're going to be drafting number 2 is.
It could be next year. Let's not kid ourselves here.
Believe me. I mean, the Browns went 1 and 15, and then they're like, it has to get better from here. It can't get any worse. And then they went 0 and 16. So,
yeah. So I promise the very last thing that I have for free agency is just to go over everyone who got tagged. I believe most of them were just franchise tags. I don't think there were any transition tags or any of that. So the New Orleans Saints tagged Marcus Williams. He was a guy that I was very much valuing out of the safety position. So I guess I'm glad he's with the Saints again, but would have been nice to see him to go to a team like the Chiefs or another safety needing team. Obviously, Justin Simmons by the Broncos was franchise tagged. Obvious reasons again. Carolina.
They're going to have to change the franchise tag in the future.
Yeah.
They have to, I mean, obviously they just made the new CBA, so it's going to be difficult for a while, but the amount of times teams can franchise these guys I just don't think it's right anymore.
Yeah, it's not. Like 3 years on top of having them for 5 years, 4 years minimum, because I know second rounders only get 4 years on their contract, but that's 7 years minimum, up to 8 years of their career. It's crazy.
And like, I mean, I admit, like, I don't know where I was going to go with that one. Never mind. I do, but I can't really think about how I was going to form it. But yeah.
All right. The Carolina Panthers have franchise tagged Taylor Morton. He's a tackle.
Motown. Just like Motown, but without the W.
Motown. All right, Morton.
It's Motown. Whatever.
Motown.
I hate you.
The New York Jets franchise tag Marcus May. Thank God. Sign that man to whatever deal he wants.
Just pause real quick. That's what I want to say. Like, if you're thinking about bringing in, I think this is a good sign for you to keep Sam Darnold, because if you're thinking about bringing a new quarterback in, you don't care who you franchise. The only person that you're going to franchise tag probably is either a receiver, a running back, or someone on the offensive line that can stick around to help. Like, if they're sticking on a safety, which is, I agree, safety is important, not essential needs though, really. But so, I mean, that just shows that maybe you'll get your wish, which once again, I want to apologize to you that, like, I really hope for you guys to be good soon, because but
here's my thing. Marcus May is the leader of the defense, and he's like the only thing that makes us function on defense.
Yeah, I know.
And also, can you name me any good free agent that the Jets have this year that's not Marcus May?
Didn't you say Crowder was, or that they're thinking about cutting or trading him?
They're thinking about cutting him to save $11 million.
No, I'm just trying to pump you up. No, I can't think of a better player than the Jets have right now. I'm sorry.
Right? No. So the only people that you could possibly – the only two good – and I'm throwing air quotes around good because it's good by my standards as a Jets fan. The only good
I have the same standards, I got to say. I still have the same standards mostly. Because I know that even if we do eventually win a Super Bowl, there will be another 75-year gap where we're this like terrible for 56 of those years. But I'm going to party like it's forever when we do win one.
It's going to be like the Eagles holding on to their win over the Patriots.
I don't even want, like, I just want to say this. If the Browns win the Super Bowl,
hold on to that for life. That's an entirely different segment.
If the Browns win the Super Bowl, the day that they have the parade will be that'll be the best place to be in the world.
I agree.
I think there could be deaths.
I agree. I can definitely see that happening. That's such
like I'm not kidding you. When I was like about a mile away when the Cavs won the championship, and we ran across the bridge, and like people were just like throwing street signs and like climbing on top of traffic lights. The cops were just standing there giving out handshakes. Cavs won. I was like, I guess we're all legal today.
I remember Philadelphia. People were flipping cars. They were ripping down. Yeah. Oh, my God. It was horrifying, but it was great.
I like to think that Browns fans are a little bit more classy than that, but I could also definitely see it going that way as well. Yeah. Like I could see them like throwing gasoline in Lake Erie, just setting it on fire.
They just make a gasoline Browns logo and then light it up so people on planes can see it and shit.
Yeah, just
for fun.
Yeah, huge one.
Anyway, back to the Jets. The only two people that you could consider good enough for a franchise tag is Brian Poole, and the only other name that I could think of is Brashad Perriman is a free agent. So, like, Marcus May getting that is fine. I'm totally good with it, but get him a long-term deal. The New York Giants franchise tag Leonard Williams. Are you surprised at all?
No, I can't believe that you guys don't have Leonard Williams. I didn't know that until this year. I mean, I'm sure you've told me. What was the trade that
I think we got a
you
third.
guys? I mean, that's not terrible, but
No, he
I
was
don't
the
know.
number 6 overall pick. That's terrible. Return on investment is horrible.
Yeah, and he was so good because to me, I mean, he could
good.
play. He was just as good on the inside. He was probably a little bit better on the inside, in my opinion, but he was also excellent on the outside too.
And we gave him up for nothing because I don't think that he and the head coach, Adam Gase, I think it was Adam Gase that traded him. I don't think they got along. So he's like, okay, bye.
Yeah, I don't know.
The Washington football team franchise tag Brandon Scherf. That's a big name that got franchise tagged, but it's probably better for them.
I mean, they once again, they're going to need a new quarterback at some point.
Yeah, with Alex Smith gone too. He got cut. I don't know if I told you that.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, that's a whole weird situation. You had to cut him.
Yeah,
it's a great story, and I think Ron Rivera kind of commented on this in one of his press conference. He's like, it was a great story, but like, if we keep him around, like, what we also what happened last time he got hurt. What if he gets hurt again? What if he gets hurt again in Washington? Like,
yeah.
So I think it was good to part both ways. And if I'm Alex Smith, I'm thinking to heaven, I got to play one more year of football. I have my leg still; it's not amputated. Right. I have $1 million to live off the rest of my money. I could probably go in a booth if I want to. So
he could. He actually has a good personality for it, I have to say.
Yeah, I mean, and a lot of times, and this is kind of off topic, but a lot of times, like, people talk about guys like Reggie Bush and Vince Young being like program altering college athletes. Alex Smith was one of the original. Like, he shaped Utah what it was today.
Yeah,
because when Urban Meyer brought him in, I mean, so he's very underrated, especially at the college level, I think. But yeah, I understand why.
Yeah, I kind of hope that he signs like a 1-year deal with the 49ers just to go back to where it all started and everything. But even a one-day. But
I feel like even if he said he doesn't have beef with 49ers, he can't be happy with how that ended.
Yeah, that was horrible.
Well, also the 49ers can't be happy with how that ended. That neither one of those quarterbacks ended up on their teams.
Gosh, the Jacksonville Jaguars franchise tag Cam Robinson. He's the tackle. They need to protect Trevor Lawrence, I guess.
Yeah, and he was like one of the examples. I guess he's kind of he's had a little bit of resurgence lately, but he was one of the other like offensive tackles I looked at that he just wasn't good when he came out.
No, and they used a 2nd-round pick on him, and he was just not good. But yeah, he's had a resurgence. And then the last two really hurt because of all of the hype and the talk that we've given about them. Chris Godwin and Allen Robinson got franchise tagged by their respective teams. I am so sad, but the one thing that I did get out of this and that I'm very excited about, Kenny Golladay did not get franchise tagged by the Lions. And he's younger than both of them, and I don't want to say he could be better than them, but
no, he's not younger than Godwin. Godwin's younger.
Oh, is Godwin younger?
Yeah, he's a year younger. But yeah, I mean, I get what you're saying. Go ahead.
There's a lot of potential with Golladay, and he hasn't had.
see, if the problem is if I'm the Bucks, I probably would rather have Golladay than Godwin. I mean, think about those two physical receivers on the outside, and then you can even. I mean, who knows if Gronk will come back? Maybe he will, maybe he won't.
Right.
But I mean, people also forget they have OJ Howard too, who hasn't really lived up to much. But I mean, he has athleticism and talent.
And Brady wanted the Patriots to trade for him. Like he specifically said, go get OJ Howard. So we haven't seen Brady and Howard play together yet, but it could be electrifying. It could be what we saw Brady and Gronk do in New England.
So where do you think Golladay will end up then?
I mean, the Jets, the Giants are both involved in that, I'm sure. I doubt the Packers because, I doubt Golladay is spiteful like that. But I don't even know.
I know. I just gave you a good sign for Sam Darnold. I think the only way you're signing even we'll go back before Allen Robinson or Godwin were franchised. I think the only way you guys are signing a new, like younger, good receiver is if he has been told beforehand there will be a new quarterback next year.
Right.
So I just thought of that and I was like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. But whatever. So
no, I totally agree. Do you know if Juju got franchised or signed a deal?
I don't think he did. I don't know who they franchised. I thought they franchised Cameron Hayward.
Did they? I didn't even know he was up.
Somewhere I saw that. They didn't use it on Bud Dupree.
I know that. Is he still?
No, they didn't. Yeah, they didn't use it on Juju either. I'm just reading something. I'm reading a headline right now. It says, as expected, the Steelers don't use franchise tag on outside linebacker Bud Dupree, wide receiver Juju Smith-Schuster.
Crazy.
That is very, very weird to me.
I mean, you got to remember though the franchise tag is kind of expensive at certain positions.
I agree though, but like with what the Steelers are in right now, like Ben probably has half a good season left, maybe. Like, True. Why are you not like? If you unless they're really trying to maybe tank for a better pick next year, like, why are you not re-signing all of Ben's guys? I mean, I know it's not really the Steelers' way. I mean, I know they draft and then, the Claypool and the other guy,
Deontay
Johnson. I mean, they're the new guys now, but
right.
It's just odd that I think
the reason they're not doing it, in my opinion, is because of the $6 million that they have left before the luxury tax kicks in. And that's why I'm sure they didn't franchise tag Juju or Hayward or Dupree or whoever, because that's expensive. Cam Robinson is getting $14 million to play tackle because of his position, which is a lot for a tackle.
That's what we were talking about earlier, that I was like, I see both sides of the franchise tag, how it's like for really good players, it sucks, but for not as good players, like, it's awesome.
It's great. Yep. I can also, just answering your question again, Galladay to the Dolphins, where he pairs up with Devontae Parker, would be interesting.
Yeah. Maybe. The only thing I would say there is if the Dolphins don't land Deshaun Watson, if the Dolphins don't land Deshaun Watson, I got to think that they're not really worried about
getting to
signing a receiver when they could sign Jamar Chase, or they could draft Jamar Chase, Devonta Smith.
Do both.
I bet, but I mean, I'd rather save some money and to put it in other positions. Like, as much as I said, every team, as much as I say every team can use more receivers. I mean, it's true, but I mean, you also have to prioritize. I
agree. Me personally, I would not be doing that, but they have $33 million in space. Like, they could bring him in, have Parker draft a guy, and still have money to invest elsewhere. But and that's something I think they could do. But me personally, I would beef up the defense some more, because that's where they're really staying in games, and that's how they're winning a lot of the games, is because of the defense.
Yeah. So I don't know.
Anywho's, let's get to the fun part.
Okay, so it's March Madness. Before we get into everything, I want to say this. Coach K, you need to retire. You're a joke of a human being. You're disgusting. You pay recruits. You tried to not have the season played at all this year because you knew your recruits sucked. And then because you weren't going to make the tournament and you knew that you were going to lose this round of the ACC tournament and go out embarrassingly. Like North Carolina lost last year's tournament in the first round, but still took it like a man, also like a girl, because there was no tournament in March Madness last year, so it didn't matter. I 100% guarantee you, because I don't know if you read the wording on the report of the article, a member of the Duke basketball program. Didn't say a player, didn't say a coach. It was probably some freaking stats kid that they basically asked. They were like, hey, just say you have COVID so we don't have to play anymore. And then, of course, Coach K comes out and says, our season's over. We're not going to go to the NIT. We're not going to go to the CBI. We won't do that. I am not kidding. I would pay more than a Conor McGregor UFC fight for a pay-per-view of Coach K's next press conference. It is going to be so disgusting, and I can't wait. I'm going to eat popcorn. Coach K should have been lauded the past 3 or 4 years for how bad he is at coaching. The fact that his team of Zion Williamson, RJ Barrett, and Cam Reddish got worse from the moment they started the season to the end is the biggest travesty in recruiting and in college basketball in the last 20 years. That team should have easily won the national championship, and they barely made it to the Sweet 16 Elite Eight. They had to beat Taco Fall and I can't remember, one of Duke's old guards' son play to beat UCF. It is going to be disgusting. Honestly, Coach K, I've said it before, he's getting to the point where it's like Dickie V and Lee Corso. He's too old to be out there. He's a flight risk. He's probably going to hurt his back, and I just can't wait until he's done. He is the worst coach. And I will say this. I respect Coach K probably before about 2008 and before. That's when he was a good coach. He is a good coach. I'll admit that. What he has done with Duke the past couple 10, 15 years, it's a joke. I mean, it's a joke. The fact that team didn't win the national championship is his biggest – it would be the biggest asterisk on his coaching career. That was the best team he ever had, and it wasn't even close. So they're out, and I'm very happy. Like I said, I can't wait to see the press conference. I honestly think he should think about retiring and honestly just maybe coach USA or something. He clearly can't get he can't get the top level guys anymore. But that also brings me to another thing I wanted to kind of bring up, which is really relevant in this year's tournament, and we've kind of talked about it a little bit. The one and done rule it's actually helping college basketball. Like, look at the team. Like, if this was 4 or 5 years ago, Kentucky would have easily made the tournament and been one of the best teams. So would have Duke. All of them. They have the recruits. But now you have teams like Iowa, Gonzaga, Baylor, Senior Layton, and things like that. It's made college basketball better. And I honestly think that a lot of guys are – I mean, the number 2 recruit in this next upcoming class, he's going to go pro. He said he's going to go to the G League, and I think that's the best decision for him. If they want to go to college, I think they should. But if they don't force him to be there, because then you have disasters like Kentucky every once in a while. Like, and it hurts the players because those guys who are on Kentucky's team, while they may have been like locked in lottery picks for the draft this year, their stock took a hit. So I don't know if you have anything to say about the one and done rule. I don't care if you have anything to say about Duke or Coach K, because I don't care. I'm right, and they're disgusting.
I was just gonna say that what he said.
Yeah.
But for the one and done rule, though, I've always thought it was a stupid rule, because like I understand you want college basketball to like grow and everything, but like if people are good enough to go to the NBA and they want to pursue that, I feel like they should be able to. And anyone who's not quite ready, like who could be good enough for the NBA, but they're not quite ready yet in high school, then you can go and play at college, right? And that's where you go and grow and progress until you're done. If you need just 1 year to grow and progress, great, that's fine. But if you need 4 years, like I think forcing everyone to do the 1 year is kind of detrimental to everyone who's trying to grow into that. Like Obi Toppin, right? He stayed 4 years at Dayton or whatever. He was horrible his freshman year, because when he did play, he was playing. Not that he was in a great division or anything, but he was playing with guys that were better than him that usually made him better. But he's playing against guys who were ready to go to the NBA. So, like, I've always felt that it should be abolished, and college basketball should just be a time to, like, let people grow and develop, where we get guys like Kemba Walker who come out of nowhere and are now a very solid point guard. You know what I mean? Because he didn't go to the best school.
I think the biggest problem with – because obviously even those players that do want to go to college, like, they still have a dream of making it to the NBA. And it's not known. I mean, if you're a senior coming out of college, the chances of you going in the lottery are very slim because you're already 23, 24 years old.
Right.
So I understand that to a point, and I could see it come to that point where like the top 150 high school basketball players in every class just go pro because if they feel like they go to college, they're losing $10 million each year they're there. So that's the only way I could see it the other way.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, like, I'm now more getting into basketball, and I'm mad that I hadn't been paying attention to it more, like the whole season. I am genuinely mad because this is the best like we've seen all year. I mean, people joked about it, and I'm a huge fan of North Carolina. Like, I get it, like, but having the Blue Bloods kind of suck this year was awesome. It was kind of cool, like the fact that the 4 top teams are going to be Gonzaga. Probably Michigan, Baylor, and then like another Big Ten team, probably Illinois, Iowa, or one of those teams.
I love that it's fresh.
And if I would have said that like 3 years ago, oh, so which team do you think is the only team of that 4 that has like the 5-star freshman starting? You would never say Gonzaga, and Gonzaga is the only one that has a 5-star starting. Right. Jalen Suggs. Yeah. So it's just weird, but I think it's been great. I also do think that I think Gonzaga might end up getting too good in the future. I mean,
that's just weird to hear. Like, I'm sure it was weird to say. That's just weird to hear. You know,
it is. I mean, I don't really pay as much to the basketball recruiting as I do the like college football recruiting. Just simply because you don't know which guys are actually going to go to school. And I mean, it's just a way different thing. But next year's number 1 guy, Chet Holmgren, 7'1" center from Minnesota. He's going to Gonzaga. And they have a couple other guys in the top 15. Gonzaga, it's weird to say this, but Gonzaga is going to be like the destination school for like top high school players in like Nevada, in Oklahoma, maybe not Oklahoma, in Iowa, not Iowa, like not Indiana either. But you know what I'm saying? Like Nebraska. Like if you're really good in Nebraska, you're going to be like, I don't have an allegiance around here. So that's what I mean. And they have
Jersey.
And Gonzaga has the lucky thing looking for. I mean, they get every Australian player ever.
That is very true.
I mean, it makes sense. They're the closest, like their university might be the closest point in America to where, to Australia and New Zealand. It's not.
Maybe Hawaii.
I think there are parts of, I think that the very tip of Alaska is more west than Hawaii, I want to say.
No, I think you're right with that.
Because I know. But also, I love Alaska.
It's further to go up, you know.
Yeah, and I love Alaska, but I've lived there. I would never go to that upper part. That's like the weird, like that. You'll die. I would die.
Okay.
That's where it's like cold all the time and like it's bad.
Great.
But so yeah, I think Gonzaga is going to become that destination school for, New Mexico. And the thing with basketball is not regional like football is really.
Right.
Like like I said, the best guy next year is from Minnesota, and also you have guys like, because I feel like a lot of the recruits that are coming up, like they don't know how good the Big East used to be because they've seen the Big East suck. So now, and now you see whereas schools like UConn, Syracuse, and the Big East, they were swooping up all those New Jersey and New York basketball players, and now they're way more spread out than ever. So, I mean, I guess say like if you live in New Jersey, I guess I don't know, but like say like I got to go to Rutgers. Like is that?
Hey, they were ranked for a little while.
Oh, I know. They beat Ohio State. We talked about it. Like, I think you were like, oh, yeah, they just beat Ohio State. I was like, wow, okay. And then that was before Ohio State like got big. And I was like, well, they're number 1, but they lost to Rutgers. So I don't know.
Anyway.
But so we're just going to go over some of the conference championships and tournaments. Make this quick. So I have most of it filled out. Obviously, there's some games tonight. I didn't. It's not in. You can see it. It's not like I put in who I thought was going to win. You see whoever's going to be. So in the ACC, we have Georgia Tech and Virginia playing tomorrow, and then Florida State obviously advanced in an it was the weirdest. It was the weirdest thing seeing the Florida State Duke score come on the bottom of the ticker on ESPN. It was like Florida State 0, Duke 0, game uncontested. So it was just very weird. So so Florida State will be playing the winner of the UNC Virginia Tech game, which is in 6 minutes. So
it's actually already started. There's 11 minutes left in the first.
What's the score?
16-10, Virginia Tech.
That sucks. It's not good.
There's a lot of game left. This just started.
And I will say this. That's another good thing, I think, 5 or 6 years ago, a school like Virginia Tech would have no chance. That they wouldn't be anywhere near the top 25.
And they're number 22. Like they're just good. Anyway.
All right. Well, we got to get through this then for the game's on. Okay. Actually, you know what? We can probably wait till halftime now at this point. I've already bet on them, so I don't update me at all on the scores.
Aye, Captain.
Shut up. No, you have to stand on your chair and say, "Oh, Captain, my Captain."
Oh, dude, I love that movie.
What movie is that? I've just heard it before. I don't know what movie it's from.
What?
It's from
you don't know what movie it's from?
That's from like a writing movie, right?
Oh, bro, that's such. You gotta watch it.
Is it Breakfast Club?
No.
I don't know.
It's Dead Poets Society.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Does it bring out your feminine side?
No, I love Robin Williams though.
He was good. He was good for a while. You know what he was
you
really
have
good
to
in?
watch that movie. He was so good in it.
You know, it's a really good Robin Williams movie, Jumanji. Not these terrible.
Yeah, no. Yeah,
the original Jumanji.
The good Jumanji, yo.
Yeah.
Yo, my brother hated that movie because he hated when the kid turned into a monkey and he had the tail come out. My brother got freaked out. He never watched Jumanji again. He hated it.
Dude, oddest thing ever. The scariest movie that like I was scarred for until I was like 12. I watched Signs with Mel Gibson, the alien movie about the crop circles.
Oh, yeah.
And there's a part in it where like they're hiding in the basement and like his son's up against the wall vent, and like the alien like reaches out with his tentacle things and starts choking him. And every time, like I remember that night I was at my grandparents' house, I was like, I can't sleep in here by myself. The thing is going to come and attack me from behind.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's weird. I still don't deal with the dark well. I do not like the dark.
Yeah, no.
I've gotten over my fear of heights, but not the dark. And snakes. I hate snakes. Maybe that's what we'll do in some of these episodes. Just like fun facts about us that we don't know.
All right. I'm down.
So like I said, those are the two ACC games. So what is your conference championship game prediction? Who do you think is going to be playing? And then
right. So between Georgia Tech and Virginia, I think I'd probably go Georgia Tech there. Not that I follow either team religiously, but I just got a feeling with that. And then between Florida State, UNC, and Virginia Tech, I go. I'm going to say if Virginia Tech wins, they'll go over Florida State. And if UNC wins it, it's too hard to predict. But
it's too hard to predict.
Well, I'm saying UNC versus Florida State. That's going to be a really good game.
They already beat.
No, I'll say whoever wins the game tonight will be Florida State. So it'll be Georgia Tech versus the winner of tonight's game.
Okay.
That's my prediction for the conference
championship. No, like what do you think? Who do you think is going to win?
Oh, and then finish it up.
Wait, you realize that you do realize the next time we have a podcast, it will be Monday, so we will already know.
True. Okay, then I'll go. The winner of the game tonight will take home the championship.
See, I hate you. I hate you.
Yours?
I actually like Virginia Tech and UNC as well. And I want UNC to win, so I'll pick them. But Virginia Tech's feisty, man. They've got some
stingy.
stuff back. It's good to see a team like Virginia Tech finally be good again. Like Jesus Christ, they had Chris Bosh.
I was gonna say Chris Bosh. I was like, I think he was with Virginia Tech.
Chris Bosh, and then Wake Forest was Chris Paul.
Chris Paul was Wake Forest along with Tim Duncan. He was also Wake Forest.
Yes, correct. In the Big 12, Baylor will play Oklahoma State in one semifinal, and Oklahoma and Kansas will play the winner. The winner of that game will play the winner of Texas Tech versus Texas tonight.
Wait, Oklahoma State and
Kansas, and then the winner of Oklahoma Kansas winner versus the Texas Tech Texas winner.
I'm trying to find if the games are done. So no. Like I'm filling in because I think I just saw. Yeah, the Oklahoma Kansas game finished. So
who won?
Kansas won by 7. They won 69-62. So Kansas will be playing the winner of Texas Tech, Texas, which starts at 9:30.
Probably, yeah.
So
you just got to pick a conference winner. You don't have to explain it. Game's on, buddy.
Okay. Baylor.
Good pick. Wow. Really going against the grain. Really going against the grain.
The
Big East. To the Big East, Nova lost to Georgetown in the first round. You can see who is all playing there. I'm not going to read it to you. So just give me a winner.
Creighton.
Yeah, I like UConn. I think Bo Knight is your
that's the only other person or the only other team that I was considering. Because
I think Bo Knight has the ability to make a run, a shadow of a run of Shabazz Napier and Kemba.
If whoever comes out of the side that is between Creighton and the UConn DePaul winner, I think whoever comes out of that side is going to beat either Georgetown or Seton Hall. So
yeah, they're both worse. Yeah, because Seton Hall is a 5 seed and Georgetown's an 8 seed. Yeah, so they're worse.
Yeah.
All right. The Big Ten, who decides to be the most annoying conference and still plays their conference championship on Sunday. I don't know why. I don't know. All the big teams are still in, so basically just pick a winner. I can't. Yeah, all of them are still in as far as I know. Michigan State's out, but they weren't really that good anyways.
Yeah. Wow. I am going to go against the grain this time because I know everyone's saying Iowa's going to win it. I'm going to go.
Huh? No one's saying Iowa's going to win.
Really?
Everyone thinks Michigan's going to win.
Well, I'm going with the grain. I'm going with Michigan.
Michigan's the 3rd ranked team in the country right now.
Yeah. Where's Iowa? I haven't actually looked at where Iowa's at.
I think Iowa's 5th and Illinois is 4, I believe.
Okay, so it's not really.
I'm just saying.
It's not really going against the grain. There are just so many good teams. So I'm going to go with Michigan, not because they're the 3 over the 4 or 5. I just think they have a more complete team.
I see. No. I like. I would love to see Ohio State win it. I don't know how I've watched a couple of their games after I found out they were good. I don't know how they ever got ranked as high as they were. They're not that good. I like Illinois. I think Ayo Dosunmu is. I think he could go on a run in the NCAA tournament by himself.
Hey, Illinois is 3, Michigan's 4, and Iowa's 5. You lied to me.
In the ranking, in the actual AP and coaches,
that's what polls, I'm looking at.
Michigan is 3. No, okay, whatever. They're all the same. Okay,
yeah, they're all right there. Anyway,
like I said, I like Illinois because I like Ayo Dosunmu.
I think he just likes saying his name.
I do, but I also like the fact that he's 6'5" and he's another point guard. I mean, I think point guard and probably like center are really the only positions you can completely dominate the game by yourself, pretty much, I would say.
Right.
And not even as much as a center because a lot of them can't dribble. So,
right.
And then the Pac-12 Just some real blue bloods out here. Oregon and Oregon State. I honestly didn't know Oregon State had a basketball team. Oregon will play the Oregon State UCLA winner. And then USC versus Utah winner that will play Colorado and Cal. Apparently, Utah and Cal and Colorado were good now.
I'm still taking USC.
Yeah, they got the best player.
They do.
So Kentucky's out. I would say where do they go from here, but then I thought about it. They'll just get another 5 more 5 stars, so it really doesn't matter. And then we already talked about the one and done rule a little bit.
Right.
So this is also weird, I think, too. You see all the teams there. I actually think LSU has a really good chance to win. I think Arkansas has a really good chance to win. I would love to see Arkansas win. Coach Musselman came from UNLV. They do a lot of it. I'll get to it in a sec, but Arkansas is one of the teams that have kind of changed recruiting a little bit. They go after the junior college players.
Right. They're looking a lot in the transfer portals.
Transfer portals and junior college players, which has basis for a narrative. It's kind of like what the Rams do in the NFL. If you think about it, it's like rather than draft someone you really don't know, you have actual film on this guy instead, so you'll trade for him.
Right. Out of the SEC for me, I was looking at LSU because I know. Yeah, I'd go LSU.
Yeah, SEC's wide open.
Yeah,
I think. And then
Georgia.
They're not. That's the weird thing too. I mean, that's another weird thing. I mean, I can't. The number. If you would have asked me, like, if I had the mindset when I was still like a senior in high school, that where do you think the number 1 pick went to college last year? Georgia wouldn't even be my first 100 answers.
Nope, because they're not a basketball program. And then Anthony Edwards is like, "Hey, I'm going to go play for Georgia and be an absolute animal and put guys in body bags in the NBA."
I haven't seen him play in the NBA, but he was only okay at Georgia. See, he's more of a player where I think going to college actually hurts you because he's more of a slasher type, like winger guy, not really a shooter. So your film doesn't show off very well. I mean, that's the same thing that happened that Patrick Williams that I think the Bulls drafted, and Isaac Okoro, the guy the Cavs drafted. I mean, he has no shot, and he just like plays defense. I don't understand it. So
yeah.
Like I said, I like Arkansas. I think that would be good to see them win. Teams that have already punched their ticket: Liberty out of the Atlantic Sun, Winthrop out of the Big South, Drexel out of the CAA, Cleveland State out of the Horizon, Loyola Chicago. What's her name? Grandma. No, it's not Grandma. It's Sister Jean.
Sister Jean, yes. Or Sister John Paul?
No, it's Sister Jean.
Cool.
Okay. Sister Jean is back with the Loyola Chicago Marimounts. Mount St. Mary's from the Northeast, Morehead State, OVC, UNC Greensboro, Southern, or Roberts Summit, Appalachian State, Sunbelt, and then Gonzaga in the West Coast Conference. I would say if you want to make any money, and probably it's only $1, put money on Gonzaga. Other than that, I think I'll go over more of it on Monday, but right now I really like what Loyola Chicago's odds are, and I really like Houston's odds as well.
What, to like win the
tournament? Yep. Loyola Chicago has been a top 10 KenPom team all year. And so also another, I will say, I don't know if you have any you could say after this, but another one of these teams that's already in. It's not just because they're from Cleveland, but I think Cleveland State can make some noise once again because they are another school that has decided to go more of the junior college route. So they have a bunch of junior college players, which at a place like Cleveland State where you're not going to get recruits in from Ohio or from Northeast Ohio either. So might as well try for the transfers. And then that's pretty much it. Do you want to do the Mount Rushmore? I'm kind of over it.
I mean, I still have my Mount Rushmore of the best teams not to win the championship. And
do you have this one?
Yeah, I have something like that.
No, do you have the ones I put on here?
Yeah. I have I have a relative count. I have a list that I go off of. So like, yes, I do. But if you don't want to, that's fine. We can save it.
Yeah, we'll save it. We'll do best teams not to. Ooh, you know what we'll do? We'll do on Monday. We'll do a best teams not to win the tournament, and then we will do also a Mount Rushmore of teams this year in the tournament that will be the best not to win it.
I like that. I'm good with
that.
When
They don't win it. So
I'm good with that. Then, I like that.
no trivia tonight. Like I said, we got games on, and it's late. Like I said, this is by far the latest we've recorded in maybe ever. And I will also like to say that you said Kansas won, correct? If UCLA ends up winning, I will be putting a good amount portion size bet on the Blue Bloods to all win their conference tournaments in the parlay, UCLA, North Carolina, and Kansas. But I will let you know. Also, what else did I have on here? Obviously, next Monday we'll have everything for March Madness. We'll have our brackets preview. I don't know if we should do like a full bracket preview show, or I don't know. We'll talk about it.
I think I've mentioned to you as well, but on I think Thursday, I am going to Atlantic City for my 21st birthday with my parents and my cousin.
You're not 21.
I'm turning 21 in 4 days.
Okay.
So we can record on Monday and we can record on Wednesday if you want to do it like that. But I am out of commission for Thursday forward.
It's not good enough. You have to give me you have to give me a week's notice.
I've been hyping it up since March started. I told you
this is the first I'm hearing of this. This is also the first I'm hearing that you're not 21. God. All right, we need to get done. So yeah, Monday we'll definitely do on Monday, and then you know what? We might just do Mondays like an hour and a half, and then we'll just wait until that next Monday and just cover the tournament from that next Monday on.
Sure. Well, like I said, I'm good to do another Wednesday one because like we did Wednesday last week.
The only problem is I don't think the tournament games start till Thursday. And
we can do like a part one of our bracket breakdown and a part two.
Okay, well, Tom, you let me know what your ideas are, and maybe you can make the outline this time.
I'm not an ideas person.
Okay, I'm not an ideas person. Okay. That's like when you don't do the dishes and you're like, I'm not a dishes person.
No, I do the dishes.
Get out. All right. So yeah, we'll talk about it, but we will see you guys next week. Definitely enjoy. Oftentimes, I do think that conference championship weekend is at points better than actual March Madness because there's so many games on, and the little schools. I mean, you get to see them win to go to the big dance. It's pretty cool. So definitely, just lay back and enjoy some of that this weekend. And then other than that, that's kind of all I got. Tom, have fun in Atlantic City. No, we'll talk before then. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's going to do it. We'll see you guys. Whatever.
Oh, man. That was great.